Hello, everyone, and welcome to CRATV, where we talk about politics, policy, and politicians, all from a conservative perspective. So please take a moment, like and share the program so that your friends can know exactly where the conversation is taking place. If you're watching us via Facebook and YouTube, make sure you hit that notification button. That way you'll be notified as soon as the program goes live, and you'll get notifications and you can participate in the live chat as the program is taking place. Also, it's a great way if you're going to share us. By the way, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you share us with your folks. Great thing about Rumble, which you guys can watch us on Rumble. Great thing about that is no one's really trying to tamp down, or they're not using any algorithms to try and throttle the program. But we all know Facebook and YouTube, that's exactly what they're doing. So help us to spread the word, help us to get the word out and let folks know where they can watch CRA TV. Also, want to encourage you. CRA is a membership organization, all right? We are here and we exist to help elect Republicans, conservatives specifically, to all offices, from dog catcher all the way up to President of the United States. But the only way in which we can do that is with your help, all right? There is no us without you. So all you got to do is click on the join link that's in the description to this program, and it'll take you exactly where you need to go to find a chapter in your area, or you can just join as a general member, join at the statewide level. But once again, we want to encourage you, whatever you do, we want to encourage you to join. The best part about that is that you get to help us support candidates. That's right. If you go to our website, that's cragop.org, that's cragop.org, you can get a list of all of the candidates that are elected by the California Republican Assembly, all the way from the statewide races and all of the initiatives to legislative races, both federal as well as state races. But you can also find out who's endorsed by CRA on your local level. All of that information is right there at our website. All you got to do, once again, is follow the link in the description to this video. Go right there and you will find out exactly who you need to be voting for, who are the conservative candidates that you need to be supporting. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into, oh, by the way, take action. Want to encourage you. The governor doesn't have that much time to take action on bills, right? He's got basically at this point, he's only got a couple of days left to sign or veto bills. Want to encourage you, go to the take action section on our website, find out what bills we're still requesting that he veto, and get your message into the governor as soon as possible. All right, now we can get on into today's topic. Today we have a special guest. He's running for Congress. He's running in the 18th Congressional District. He is a phenomenal conservative. Folks, he is putting on a battle to represent conservatives in the U.S. Congress. And with that, I want to welcome to the program Mr. Peter Hernandez. Peter, welcome to the program.
How you doing, Craig? Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
I'm doing phenomenal. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with the folks at the California Republican Assembly. Do us a favor before we get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background and why you're running for Congress.
So my name is Peter Hernandez, Congressional District 18 is the district that I'm running for. I'm a San Benito County supervisor, born and raised in Hollister, California. I come from an immigrant family, basically have an immigrant background. My mother, I worked the fields 30 years, and my father was a butcher. So we come from humble beginnings, but I basically had a strong urge as a Christian man to get involved in the civic process. I know that that's been a big, ultimately there's been a disconnect, right, when it comes to our faith and engagement. So sure enough, I ran for Hollister School District Board back in 2014. And then won that race, served 4 years, and then I ran for County Board of Supervisors in San Benito. I say in the middle of the toughest of times, through the shutdowns, I call April 28, 2020, the day that defined the course of my convictions, because that was the day that I found myself being tested to really stand up for what was true and right. I challenged what was unpopular at the time, and that's that these lockdowns were obviously going to have a negative and detrimental effect. And I, challenge the fact that we shouldn't be mandating anybody into a position of compliance. Thomas Jefferson said, political converts are not won by force. And I knew that there would be a consequence. I knew there'd be a liability. And so long and short, I did what I did, and I challenged the public health officer, had a pretty long discourse, statement. Put it on. I knew that I had a conviction for the public to know the truth because it wasn't just confined to the echo chamber of the board of supervisors. So I basically reprinted those comments and I put it in an article in San Benito County to be unified. We need an honest conversation. That's the title of the article in Benito Link, our local paper. And I basically in there I just share all my sentiments between the lockdowns, the unconstitutionality. I question the masks, and I ended up questioning the authority of the public health officer. Long and short, 2 hours later, after I said what I said, the public health officer didn't have a word to say back, and 2 hours later, he quit. So it really kind of defined the reality of what it means to be to me a public servant. That means you're making tough decisions in tough times, and you're making it clear where you stand on things. And I think I've learned a lot because of the fact that I wasn't silent. And so then, anyways, that's the long and short of my term as a county supervisor.
Wow. So now you're in the midst of you're running against Zoe Lofgren, right? She's a current member of Congress now. Does she currently represent the seat, or is she coming kind of running? Was this an open seat and she's kind of the closest elected that decided to run for it?
I love that question. Yeah, because there's definitely misnomers about the race. So she's running for a brand new seat. She is a representative of the old 19. The 19 is obviously because of redistricting, it's going to expire at the end of this year. So that means that she's officially running for a brand new district. She's not an incumbent in this brand new district, and she's by default she's running for a whole new population of voters, which is, to those that don't know, it's majority Latino, it's rural, it's agricultural, it's middle class, it's everything that I am and she's not. So by default, that means I am Congressional District 18. And that's exactly my messaging. When you go down the district and drive through the 101, you'll see my signs all over that highlight that reality.
That's important because what they want to do is they want to try and paint her as the incumbent, like, oh well, no, she's already won, she's already there. And the reality is, she doesn't represent that community. She probably barely knows that community. And I'm quite sure that if you started running down the list of the positions and the values of most of the voters in that community, and then you started comparing it to the votes of Miss Lofgren, I'm willing to bet you'd see a pretty decent divide.
That's right. Yep. The majority, although it is majority Democrat, it's kind of a relative statement in this day and age because you're feeling the pain at the pocketbook. You're feeling a lot of the ultimately the consequences or the implications of bad decision making that the left has made. So long and short, that the voters are majority Latino, and I would say the fact that they are Latino, you can't just tie them as simply just Democrat leftists. The reality is they're not. They're very I love the intro of your show, which is faith, family, and country, or I think that was what it was in general. But either way, when you talk to the actual voters, the Latino voters, they believe in their faith, they believe in their family, and we believe in our individuality, right? So that is exactly what I've been articulating as a candidate. That I fought for local control, I fought for representation, for their voice at the table, and when it comes to the decisions that have negatively impacted our children with the shutdowns, their mental health. I mean, even suicide rates are up, and also obviously our business community, which I am a small business owner.
Well, what I like is you're not just talking about what you will do, but you're starting off by talking about what you've done. So many people running for office don't say what they believe, but it's always important to make sure that their beliefs have been backed up with action, and you can show that. All right, so let's say it's day one, you're in Congress. What are the things that you want to get done?
So I have big goals. One is for sure that we cut the congressional credit card, that we stop this massive inflation with government spending, and we start to get it under control, and then we set the business economy free. We give them an opportunity to increase the supply necessary in our country to make it basically production in our country by default, obviously prioritizing American first industries and restoring the strength of our economy. And I would say also addressing this negative sentiment of defund the police. Right, we should be basically restoring the sentiment towards respect towards public service, public servants, and ultimately protecting our communities because of that. Right now, you have bills that even my opponent has sponsored, like the George Floyd Injustice Act, And that one itself actually gets into even eliminating what's called qualified immunity, which is a necessary element to make a officer uh, understand that they have, as long as the process plays out, that they have a level of protection to actually go out and enforce the law. And then there's other parts to it. Restoring parents' rights, as I've mentioned, that's I'm passionate. I'm a father. I have four kids, two small ones, a 2-year-old and an 8-year-old, and then two older ones. But restoring parents' rights, giving them back the choice with education, right? Giving them the opportunity, whether it's vouchers or scholarships, but things that are outside of the sphere of influence of control of government. And then, yeah, then I would say one final strong element is also for us to restore a level of authority back to the people, and I think that's going to happen through term limits, where we set restrictions on these career politicians that are in office, just self-aggrandizing themselves, growing power and influence and money, and ultimately all the while you're actually ignoring the folks that you're supposed to be representing.
All right. I know that I know already kind of, I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to these questions because you wouldn't be a CRA endorsed candidate if you weren't. But obviously there's the kind of the key issues. There's where do you stand on the Second Amendment? Where do you stand on life? Where do you stand on taxes and limited government?
I think when government starts to get in a position to define life, or actually convolute that they can't define life, then I think that puts them in a dangerous position to officially make a position of destroying lives, right? And that's where you have these bills where you're actually destroying life all the way up to the end of the last trimester. So I'm obviously supportive of life. I'm pro-life. I'm also very much Second Amendment. It's funny because our founder is very intentional about the right to self-defense. That's very much in the annals of history. And also, John Locke wrote about it in two treatises of government, the right of self-defense, which is a big influencer of what our Constitution, our Declaration was a foundational element in. And what was the last one? I'm sorry, you asked. So there was a third one, I believe you mentioned.
Limited government.
Oh, of course, yeah. And so I love the way that reality, right? Because a lot of people don't understand. It's not about a small government. It's about enumerated powers according to the Constitution. There's basically strict restrictions on the federal government. They've obviously violated that because they've gotten outside of that reality. But in general, government should be restricted. The bigger the government, or the bigger the influence, like the federal, they should be restricted to a box that they live in, which is ultimately, right, preserving our borders, right, protecting our country, interstate commerce, some very general things, but they're getting into the weeds, which is why I think a lot of the issues that we're having in our country.
You are 100% correct. There are a lot of areas where government in general, federal government specifically, but government in general has gotten into a lot of things. And you probably already know this. I mean, sitting on a county board of supervisors, you know that there's a lot of areas that they're into that they're not supposed to. And you also know that in a lot of areas, school districts are in many cases are being forced to do things and be involved in areas that have nothing to do with education or nothing to do with schools. And as we say that, I see you got a little one there in your lap.
Yeah, yes. I'm a full-time father also, right? So sorry, my family's a big part of the reason why I do what I do. Obviously, as long as with my faith in God.
The only thing you need to be sorry about is we can't get a good shot of her. Can you stand there? Let her say hello to everybody.
Say hello, Adasa. Say hi.
You have a very cool daddy.
I'm proud of my daughter. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Well, look, I know you got to go work on it. I know you got to go be a dad. Do us a favor real quick. Let folks know how they can support your campaign.
If you can go to hernandezforcongress.com, that's my website. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on True Social, Getter, and obviously Facebook. You can look me up, Hernandez for Congress. That's where you can also donate. That's where all my social media, especially Instagram, is connected to. Easy way to find me. I even have my phone number on there. You can reach out and we can chat a little bit about the importance of saving this district and ultimately taking one piece away from the leftist progressives that are destroying this country.
Sir, I want to thank you so much for, I know running for office it's no small deal. It takes a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, and a lot of your effort, and in particular, a lot of time away from your family. So we appreciate the sacrifice that you've made for how you've already served, and we appreciate you for your desire to continue to serve. Folks, make sure, if you get a chance, make sure go and support Mr. Peter Hernandez for the 18th Congressional District. Peter, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you too. All right, folks. Hey, that's going to be it for this edition of CRA TV. Want to encourage you, if you want to learn more about the California Republican Assembly, visit our website. That's cragop.org. That's cragop.org. When you go there, you'll see up-to-date news and what's going on impacting the state of California. You'll get updates from CRA, a lot of the local chapters. Share with us information about their upcoming meetings. You can get a chance to follow our Take Action alerts, know what's going on with legislation or other efforts throughout the state of California and throughout the nation. You can also check out CRA TV, where you can watch the rundown, or CRA TV, or you can read, once again, future, or you can read recent news and commentary. But whatever you do, folks, take a minute, visit cragop.org, cragop.org. And if you like what you see there and you're not already a member, become a member. And if you are a member, share the page with your friends so that they can become members too. All right, that's going to be it for this edition. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We are the California Republican Assembly, the conscience of the Republican Party. We'll see you folks again real soon.